Hi, this is The Razor's Edge, and we are at Uprising today and talking to Häxan. How are you?
Really good, thank you.
Very good.
How did the set go?
It went well. So yeah, I think we were surprised because I joked on stage about being the
heaviest band of the day.
Yeah,
You did well there.
yeah, thanks. What do you mean? Did well?
No, I think it's a good joke.
No, I'm kidding.
Everything has to be different, doesn't it? We're
Yeah,
all
for sure,
looking for
like-
something different in places.
But I think we kind of hope to be like a bit of a reprise from the heavier stuff. So and it went down well, to be fair.
Good.
Lots of people came up to us afterwards and said they enjoyed. So
Well, that's good. That's the main thing, isn't it? We can't all listen to the same thing every day, especially at, a small one-day festival.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think we are just on the line of being. We do tip over into. We've got some melodies that are used in metal music, which a lot of musicians will pick up on, and metalheads will pick up on. So we do well with metal crowds, which
On
is
the
good.
cusp.
Yeah, we
Dip our
which is
toes.
good. Yeah, we dip our toe into a bit of metal every now and again, and it works for us.
So have you been playing much this year at all? Have you managed to get out there and kind of get
it's
some new audiences?
pretty constant. We're out pretty much every weekend, I think. So literally everywhere. We don't mind travelling. So, but I think the second half of the year is going to see us go further afield. We've got a couple of European festivals and a tour with Florence Black. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that should be really good.
Yeah,
So,
that would be really good.
yeah, the end of the year is definitely more sort of bigger. It's busy, yeah. So
I know it's, the question you probably get asked by a lot of people, lockdown is over, but how was it for you? Did you manage to write and get stuff going together, or was it just like, we'll have a break and we'll pick it back up after?
yeah, we actually put the album out in lockdown, and we did toy with the idea of keeping it till afterwards, but it's probably the best thing we could have done.
We
to be
didn't know when
honest.
afterwards would be, so
Yeah.
So we thought, well, we'll keep ourselves going, keep people that are interested in the band going, and put it out in lockdown. But we live quite far apart, so
Right.
We really missed
didn't
each other.
see each other for a long time. Because me and Sam were in Wales and Harriet's in England, so we weren't allowed to cross the border.
Completely different rules.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To the point where, to be honest, even though Jess and I both lived in Wales, we weren't even allowed to mix households. So it was kind of hard because we need each other, not just as a band, but as like sort of best mates as well. So we sort of thrive. We thrive on that. Like we're a good unit on and off stage, and we just really missed each other. So
I've said it before. A lot of musicians, and it's great for them, but had a creative. It was a good time to let out their creative juices and stuff. But for me, I was sapped of any creative energy whatsoever. It was a really miserable time for a lot of people, and I just didn't. If I had written anything at that time, I don't think I would want to listen to it now, because when you're in that kind of a mindset, it comes through in your writing. And I'm glad that we didn't, to be honest. I'm glad that we got the album out that we'd worked really, really hard on. All of our fans thoroughly enjoyed it for the year and a half that we were locked down, and they were just absolutely chomping at the bit for us to then go out and play it.
it was probably the perfect scenario.
It worked out.
It did, because
yeah,
when
it
we
worked
were
really
allowed
well.
to gig, then everyone knew the songs and everything. So
It was a year later that we actually managed to go out and play it, a year after we released it. So
And that first gig back, we were just talking about it actually. That first gig back, we did. We started our tour in Norwich, our album sort of release tour, and I think we were just literally beaming from year to year, like
We'd
the
never
whole
been to
set.
Norwich, have we?
No.
Yeah, and we didn't know what to expect, and it was rammed, and we just like thriving to like sort of play together again, and it was literally probably one of my favourite gigs of all time.
Yeah,
so,
genuinely, I think we'd all agree on that.
Because you talked about obviously living far apart, so when you're getting ready for the new album, what's that process going to be like with you in England and you guys in Wales?
we see each other so frequently. We obviously
We're each other's pockets, aren't we?
we are in each other's pockets, but obviously Harriet will either come to Wales or we'll go to her. We'll just sit there for hours and see what happens, and we won't force it either though. Like
So it's not a formula, you just kind of go with it.
just go with it, yeah. So, but that's what works for us. Like, I think it's important to have that organic sort of songwriting process, because otherwise we don't want to put something out that thinks, oh, well, that's either going to sound like something we've put out before, or it's just forced. So,
It will sound forced. It will sound like we've rushed it and forced it. Right, so.
Which is why it takes us so long.
Yeah.
It's why it takes us so long to get anything out. The first album, I mean, we'd been we've been a band for
Long time.
a long time before we even managed to get anything recorded and released, really. And then
That, and we gig so frequently.
Yeah, this
it's
is
hard
the
to
thing.
find time to sit down
Yeah.
there and write. 'Cause there's no down period because we all work full time as well. So like, it's hard to sort of sit down there and
Tough,
go right.
yeah.
Like, when are we not gigging? And it's never.
Yeah,
we're never not gigging. So
always,
yeah.
And how are you balancing that? Obviously, we were talking to other guys today. You know, they're working full time. The band, you're trying to sell merch. You're trying to make money
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Off merch and streaming. How are you balancing that all?
Well, to be honest, our fans are incredible. Like we put out a limited edition T-shirt about 2 months ago, and it literally sold out in 12 hours. And I was like,
Right.
that's insane. Like we're so lucky to have the fans that we do, and they literally just like I don't want to sound like we're sort of like
money grabbing.
glorifying or like money grabbing or anything or like glorifying ourselves, but literally they're just waiting to see what we do next, and they just buy into it instantly, no questions asked. And I know how lucky we are to have that sort of backing.
Oh, that's
So,
really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's really difficult. We've been talking about it today with other people streaming, making money off streaming. You know,
Streaming's we don't
We don't make off streaming.
venues
So
taking
don't
money off
try.
merchandising, when
Yeah.
you're selling it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the new thing
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
know.
it is a
that
new
we've
thing.
been talking a lot about with a lot of
As
people.
high as like 30% in some places
Yeah.
as well, which is
And it
criminal
all
because
eats
that's
in,
the profit
doesn't it?
margin.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
Definitely.
majority of our profit at least comes from selling merch.
Yeah.
Entirely. So yeah, when
And I think people realise that now, and especially in lockdown, I think a lot of people bought merch because they saw that as a way of supporting bands.
Definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
because we couldn't go to a live show, buy
Yeah.
a t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we say all the time that people will quite often buy our CDs, don't buy them to go and listen to them because they don't
Just
have
to
a
have
CD player,
them.
but it's
So-
just it's a
It's
way
that
of supporting the
support,
band
yeah,
and a way of
that's really
having something
good.
physical. Yeah, so no,
We do put a lot of pride in our designs for
absolutely.
things
We
as
put a lot
well.
of time and effort and makes it.
Yeah, it's like the things that we put out, you know.
It's created by us as well.
Yeah.
So like as a team, like we'll like our last T-shirt, Harriet and I did together.
So it's all very DIY and
It's
in-house.
very
Yeah.
much so, yeah. Like we're really self-sufficient in that
Yeah.
sort of sense. I'm proud of it. So like rather than outsourcing, we will always try and like sort of manage ourselves and be self-sufficient in design and like even as far as like everything we can do, driving ourselves and stuff like that. But I
I
think
think that's the way forward, though, isn't
For
it?
sure.
The DIY back to almost the 80s before.
well, that's very
a lot of
much
things changed in the industry. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's very much us anyway. We're sort of like back to basics, like raw. What you see is what you get with us. There's no sort of like. There's no polish in it or pretenses or anything. We're just out there balls to the wall. So.
So you said you gig a lot. What's been your favourite tour so far? Who have you really enjoyed being out with, and who would you love to get out with?
I really enjoyed. We did the Monster Rock cruise in Miami, and we just felt like imposters for the entire time because it was just crazy. So yeah, literally, it's like
Brilliant.
we sitting there. I remember we were sitting around like one of the dinner tables having dinner with Jeff Scott Soto, all of Metal Church, and Chris Caffrey from Sabotage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And I was literally just sitting there with my head in my hands. They were trying to talk to me. I was like, I don't have anything to say.
Cannot relate.
Yeah, but it was crazy. But like, that's obviously a highlight for us. But we've done loads of cool stuff on here.
Yeah, I'd say, was it 2015? We were picked. So there's a festival in Letchlade in like the Cotswolds. It's like it's a really bizarre. They have some massive bands on, but it's kind of a more of a like not a village fete, but
It's like a family festival.
yeah, it's like a family
village
fete
on
Yeah,
steroids,
it's a
if
very
you like.
unassuming
Yeah.
festival. Anyway, Status Quo happened to be headlining this particular festival. I know exactly. That's what I mean. They get some huge bands. So yeah, and then Status Quo were asked which of the bands on our lineup would you like to open for you, and they picked us.
Crow picked you.
Quo picked
Yeah.
us.
Really, that's really good.
Which was
It was amazing,
unbelievable.
but it was at the point where we hadn't even written enough material.
Yeah.
So we were like, we'll do half covers and half our own songs.
It's like it's co songs and
We literally started off with
No,
not Sweet Caroline. Oh god.
it is. It's what Caroline, the Status Quo song Caroline.
Yeah.
We were like, let's start with that. So we were playing the riff just to be knobs because we're dickheads.
Yeah.
So we were like, we stood on stage and everyone was like, oh, it's Status Quo. We were like, oh no, sorry, it's just us. How can we really push our luck opening for Status Quo? Let's start with Status Quo.
And why not?
Rip
Shows
an
great
entire
tenacity,
set.
yeah.
Oh, we were joking, but
They thought it was funny.
they did think it was funny,
They did.
and they went and bought all our merch and stuff as well, which
Yeah.
is amazing. So
That's really good.
yeah.
That was the
really
thing, is like we remembered, like, obviously, because we were on just before Quo, we were like, oh, we're not going to sell any merch because everybody's going to be stood there watching Quo. So we were kind of hanging around backstage, not rushing to get back to the merch tent. And somebody rang me or something and said,
You need
where
to get
the
to
hell
the
are
merch
you?
tent.
Like, you need to get to the merch tent now. And we got there, and it was just a queue, as far as you could see, of people just climbing to buy our stuff. And that was before the pandemic.
I did a bit of a cry about it.
I did have a bit of it. It was a very,
A bit of a
very
cry.
emotional day. It was a very emotional day, but it was a good one.
And probably a question you get asked a lot, but I'm going to ask it anyway as a female editor towards a female band. How have things been?
As you would expect, I think. Like everyone, it's kind of a weird time to be in because everyone always says they're championing female musicians and females in the industry, but it's like, okay, you're saying you're doing it, but then fucking do it. Like it's like you're saying you're doing it, making all the right noises, but then actions speak louder than words. So like, I think we've, as recently as like a month ago, we showed up at a gig. Went to check in at the artist tent, and they're like, "Sorry, whose boyfriends? Which band are you with? Which band are you with?"
Yeah.
And Harry was like, "We are the band, actually." And they were like, "Oh, sorry, I thought your boyfriends were in a band." And he was like, "No, actually, no."
I completely sympathise as a female editor. People ask to talk to the editor.
Yeah.
It's fine,
exactly
you know.
like me.
So,
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and like if we sort of. We take it on the chin, and then we use that platform that we've been given to just blow the doors off and like
Absolutely
prove why we should be there as a female artist rather than just
irrespective of.
Yeah,
I think it's important as well that we keep the ladder down as well for other people coming up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but like,
One thing we get quite a lot is on lineups, especially festivals. They're like, "Oh, we've already got a girl band."
we won't get booked for something because they go, "Oh, we would book you, but we've already got a girl band." Oh, sorry, how many guy bands have you got on this bill?
Or we get quite often we've had questions about, is there competition with other girl bands? And they're sort of, why should there be? It's not.
There's
you know
not.
what I mean?
The same competition that men are in their bands.
Yeah,
like everybody, it's kind of a competition, but it's just
We're not
you're
fighting
only in
each other.
competition with yourself. It's only fun. You know, it's just good fun, really. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a stereotype that women don't like women, but
is bollocks.
You don't. I definitely don't find that.
I mean, we're in a band with each other, and we quite like each other.
Yeah.
So,
Speak for yourself.
No, I completely agree with you. And this whole filling the quota by having the token female is ridiculous.
it's wild when you think about it. Like they think, "Oh, what girl band are we going to book?" Oh yeah, we've got
Eeny,
that.
miny,
Yeah,
moe.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and we don't sound anything like any other girl band, I don't think, anyway. So like, what are you pinning it against? Like another female singer or another female guitarist? But I think Häxan pretty much sounds like Häxan.
Yeah.
And
That's it, yeah.
That's it. Like,
And actually,
We just
pitting
happen to
people
be
against
female.
each other is just ridiculous.
it makes it worse.
Yeah, it
so
does.
like, it makes it worse. But
And the other thing that is kind of confusing me at the moment is obviously festivals have kind of been told. I think it was actually kind of legislated that festivals need to have a ratio of female bands on. Obviously, bigger festivals, I think it applies to, but they have to. And I'm like, so if we get asked to play a festival or something, are we being asked to fulfil a quota again, or are we being asked because
They actually want
value what we
they
do as
actually
a
like
band?
what we're doing?
Yeah.
Like which one is it? And I don't. As much as I feel like the rule is coming from a good place to try and showcase more female artists.
it's almost harmful.
It puts a
As a
seed of
reverse
doubt.
effect, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. It has a seed of doubt in your brain when you're getting asked out of the blue by a promoter or whatever. Could we play this festival? And you're kind of getting vibes of it's purely just to tick a box, which isn't a great
You
feeling.
need to be the token vaginas on a festival.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've
tits.
had that. We've been booked things and played, and then they've gone, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be that good.
Yeah,
wish I put you higher up on the bill," sort of thing. That
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have,
How insulting.
Yeah.
Actually,
Thank you
how
very much.
insulting.
Like,
Yeah.
So wait, did you not even listen to us before you booked us?
No.
So, like,
Genuinely, though, I think.
I don't think they do.
potentially,
I really don't.
Obviously, not everyone. Like,
No.
yeah, let's not tar everyone
No,
with the same
I'm
brush.
not.
Like that's not the
Definitely
case.
not. But there is a proportion where it is still an issue. We know it's still an issue.
Yeah.
as
Well, you get it
females.
yourself, so you're totally involved with that. But it's a shame.
Yeah, there'll be a tipping point at some. I mean, there are so many new artists coming, new female artists coming through that it won't even be it'll be a non-issue sooner rather than later.
yeah, it'll get there. It will get there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Who knows
Well,
when.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
No,
so
I'm
much.
looking forward to seeing you again. Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website www.therazorsedge.rocks.